Hello everyone, Schwartzviad here, and today I want to talk about three major problems that exist currently within the Starfighter aspect of Star Wars: The Old Republic. First off, we have the fact that spawn camping is very possible and it's happening too often. In particular, this happens around the capital ships. In a recent incident, a large group was killing my team as we spawned in near our Imperial capital ship, and one bomber that I was shooting at went down and flew into the hangar and put his mine down and stopped until I was killed. It's bad enough that the enemy players are allowed to fly around unhindered next to an enemy capital ship at their spawn point, but the fact that a Republic player was able to take cover from an Imperial fighter by going into an Imperial capital ship hangar and putting a mine and other deployables down is just ridiculous. Something needs to be done to provide spawn protection to players. Now, I'm not talking about the hyper buoys players can deploy, but when spawning near a capital ship, enemies that come within 25,000 meters should be torn to shreds by the capital ship, and the players to which the capital ship belongs should be able to retreat to it as a safe point. Though what we are seeing is the capital ships near spawn points are just there for a visual treat, and enemies are using them as cover. The second problem is that gunships have too much power against the defenses set up around control points. As we all know, when you take over a control point, after a while turrets will spawn. Now all classes of ships but gunships have to get in close to destroy them and take the risk of being killed, while the gunships can just sit at range and kill the defenses without any effort needed to take them out. Now some would say that I need to quit complaining because this is just how it is and it's fine. No, it's not, and here's why. All other types of ships have to deal with the threat of automated defenses and players, but with gunships they are not threatened by the automated defenses, and players will take a little bit of time to get to them. There are things that can be done to make this more balanced, while still allowing players who love gunships to keep being effective against the defenses. First of all, there can be a defense bonus on automated turrets that reduces damage taken from long-range shots from the gunships. Not by a huge amount, but enough to take a couple more shots to kill a turret. This would allow time for the defenders to react and chase after the gunship in a similar fashion to how defenders have time to react to an enemy scout coming in and destroying their turrets. If, however, the defenders do not notice or focus the gunship, then the gunship will still be able to kill the turret with relative ease. Another option I suggest would encourage more team play. This would have automated turrets invincible unless the enemy is within range and the turrets open fire. This way gunships would be able to quickly destroy a turret if their teammate was distracting that turret, causing it to fire, thus lowering its shield. The point is that gunships are basically one-man armies currently that can destroy defenses without skill or effort needed to do so, while other classes do require that skill and effort to take out the defenses around a control point. Lastly, there is the big issue of the matches being imbalanced. I can think of only a few matches that were balanced in terms of team and skill, like the footage I have playing in the background. Most of the time it is one team beating the other team very badly, and what I see a lot of is one team having a large number of players with access to all 5 ships, while new players on the other team are the majority. There was a match where the enemy was about to lose, so they all switched to gunships and turtled up and killed us all at range. There was nothing our team could do because most of the players on our team didn't have access to a gunship. Now, I'm not complaining that the enemy used a smart move to win, but that with the way the team balancing worked, it put the majority of people on our team as the newer players that only had access to the 2 starting ships. So our team really didn't have any means to counter everyone on their team switching over to gunships. In a more recent match, it had over half the people on my team with just the starter ships, while 6 or 7 enemy players had all 5 ships available. Matches like this are happening far too often. However, I realize this is not a simple fix. You don't want players to wait forever, but when they get a match, you don't want it to be terribly imbalanced either. The way I see it, there are 2 ideas that could potentially work. First of all, allow players to decide whether or not they want to wait for more balanced teams or just enter a match when there's enough players available. This was done in the game Global Agenda. When you queued for a match, you could choose an option to wait for a balanced team or just join in whenever there were enough players in queue. With such an option, players who are just joining for the weeklies or dailies can choose not to have to wait for a balanced team and then just get into a match much more quickly, but those that are fine with waiting longer if it means a more balanced match can still have that option too. Alternatively, it could just be made to not put a team with a bunch of experienced players against a team of mostly new ones. Let's say a large number of veteran Republic players queued, and only Imperial players that queued were mostly new. Then have a match where those veteran pub players fight each other in a pub versus pub simulation, and the imps fight each other imp versus imp. This is done rarely in Starfighter, but much more often in war zones, but seemingly when there's not enough members of the opposing faction in the queue. But this should be also done when there is a disproportionate number of experienced players with lots of ship options pitted against newer players with no major ship choices unlocked. In conclusion, Starfighter is a great idea, wasted on the fact that it is not concerned with being balanced. If spawn camping could be eliminated, gunships were more balanced and had to work harder to kill turrets, and team balancing was improved, this part of Star Wars The Old Republic would be made immensely better. Anyways, this has been Shorts Fiat. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.